Hey everybody, and welcome to Season 3 of Suds and Sounds Beer Review. I'm your host Adam, and currently we are under the quarantine for the COVID-19 pandemic, so it's making it harder to go out to faraway breweries and jump in and learn something new about them and bring them back and share them with you. So I thought I would do a different take for Season 3. What we're going to be doing throughout this season is trying local beers that I can get from my home, from the front step. Get it delivered right to me, go get curbside pickup. So every beer that I'm going to be reviewing this season is from the Sarnia-Lambton area, and I've chosen a few of them, and I'm just going to run down through some of the flavors and through some of the choices that I could get at the time and sharing them with you. So let's get started. Today we have Refined Fool. This is Sarnia's first craft brewery, and they currently have 2 locations, one in downtown Sarnia and one in midtown Sarnia. So you get a little bit of different atmosphere at each place, but you get to try the same delicious beers all across the board. They started in the downtown region in a nice small little microbrewery, and because they got so popular, because they were Sarnia's first craft brew, they grew and grew till they needed a bigger location. So now they're in the midtown area. They've got a bigger location, which means they can brew more beer, they can try different things, and they can bring you some new flavors, and we can all enjoy them. Here's how this season's gonna go. I'm going to be running through 3 different beers. We're gonna start first with Something for the Newbie. Something for the Newbie is a beer for someone who is new to craft brewers. They're not sure what they want to get into. They're used to their domestic beers. They're used to the larger brands, but they want to support local. They want to try something new. To start that off, the Refined Fool choice for the Newbie is the Ontario Craft Lager. This beer here is your typical craft lager, nice and clear, nice and light, nothing overpowering, nothing scary about it. It resembles a lot of choices that domestic brewers make for those large mass distribution beers. So let's go ahead, let's give this a taste and see what we think. That's a nice, light, crisp lager. Because it's a lager, it doesn't have any overpowering hops. It doesn't have any super malty base, any caramel base. Obviously, you can see by the color there's nothing dark, there's nothing roasted. It becomes a light, easy drinking, refreshing beer. I always find that you have that lighter grain taste to a lager, and that's basically what people want in a lager. They want something nice, they want something crisp, and that using lighter grains like this is definitely what brings that out. It's a delicious beer to start off with. If you're getting new into the craft breweries, it's something new for you if you want to try and get away from those domestic beers and you want to support local. It's definitely something that you can try out. Next up, we have a fan favorite. The fan favorite is a beer that is selling well for the brewery, something that they're getting more and more distribution of, and Refined Fool has quite a few fan favorites. I know that in the past I've done their Australian Pale Ale with my friend Rob as part of the review. So I was going to choose that one again, but why? I've already tried it. Let's bring something new to you. Today, I've got the Cherry Troll. This is a cherry cream ale. The Cherry Troll is based off of their cream ale, which was the Troll Toll, and it was a really popular beer as well. So what they tried to do was lighten it up a little bit, make it a little more summertime friendly, add some fresh cherries in there. They're getting new characters and new label designs. If you remember from earlier seasons, a lot of the Refined Fool stuff had simple line with their logo and the name, similar to, I guess they're changing everything up. Similar to some of the older ones that you can go back and check out. So this one has some cherry puree in it. It's going to, obviously you can see that it's affected the color. Cream ales have a little bit more of hazier yellow, but still keep that yellow color. So the cherry brings a little bit of that orangey red into that. So this is a fan favorite. People seem to love it right now. Let's go ahead and try it. Cheers. What's good about this one is that cream ales, again, like your lagers, are nothing intimidating, nothing overpowering. They're easy drinking, lighter malt-based beers, and they definitely don't punch your tongue with flavor or over bombard you with different types of spices or hops or anything like that. So putting a little bit of cherry in this just livens it up a little bit. Makes it something unique, makes it refreshing. This is something that definitely you could sit out on your back deck with less than 5 people and enjoy just in the summertime. It's crisp, it's refreshing, it's a summertime beer. This is the fan favorite. It's a cherry troll, a cherry cream ale. Finally, we have something a little more adventurous. So let's see what we're going to choose for our Get Adventurous choice. For that, I was debating between 2 beers. These are from the shirtless lineup with Refined Fool. So Refined Fool likes to have playful names, foolishly playful names in their beer names, and the shirtless row is all of their barrel-aged beers. So between that, I had the shirtless in the back pew, which is a Belgian blonde that was aged in 2 different types of wine barrels. I believe it was aged in the Baco Noir and the Cab Sauv barrels. But I went with shirtless in seat 34B, and this is a cherry stout. So it was aged in bourbon barrels. Now I know I did a cherry for the fan favorite. I'm going to do a cherry for the Get Adventurous choice. But the point is to show you that there's so much options and you can liven something up with one simple change, one little fruit. But let's get to this. This is the shirtless in seat 34B, the cherry stout aged in bourbon barrels. Okay, that's really interesting. Your stout, see the flavors come through in different stages. So as I was saying, I was talking there, and I was going to talk about the initial flavor that I got. It was changing in my mouth as you move it around a little bit. So it starts out with a crisp cherry bite to it, and then you get that malty base. You get that stout, that roasted malty dryness that comes in, and then finally you start to taste that aftertaste, that bourbon barrel. You get a little bit of that smoky oak. That they've got the caramel flavors in that bourbon as well, and you do get a little bit of a bite at in the aftertaste, but it's nothing overpowering. A lot of people are intimidated by bourbon because you get your typical Jack Daniels, you get your corn mash bourbon, you get your wild turkey and things like that, and it ends up being super intimidating because it has that bite. But you got to remember that's a 40% or 35% alcohol. This is a beer. This beer rings in at 5%. But you're getting more adventurous because you get that cherry flavor, that stout flavor, and a little bit of that bourbon flavor. It does remind you of like a complex wine where it changes every time you have a sip. So let's go ahead and have another one and get adventurous. So that is Refined Fool, based out of Sarnia, 2 locations. Check them out on social media. Make sure you go to refinedfool.com, order some of these beers for yourself. They've got way more beers than this. They get really adventurous and have a fun time with their naming, with their flavor mixing, with trying new things, being foolish, and making good beer. It's Refined Fool. This has been Suds and Sounds, the start of season 3. Until next time, stay thirsty, and we'll see you then.